Dude, I haven't even told you. When I was tripping on Gaetano's porch, I guess I tried to explain to you just how crazy it was, but I wrote it down. I was just like seeing how thought processes work exactly.
Alright.
That's an interesting thing. Like, it was either my brain was working so slow I could see it, or I was just seeing it. I don't know. But basically, this is what I wrote. Don't know if it really makes sense. I'm going to read it out loud and then try and restate it in a way that makes sense. Because, I mean, we're talking about a goddamn trip, so probably doesn't make much fucking sense. The reason I talked in that order. So, this was me talking about the first episode of the podcast, because the next day when I was still, like, a little stoned, I took a shower and then I watched the first episode of the podcast, and I dissected the last bit where I talked about gravity and relativism. We still don't know what gravity is. That's insane. There must be some sort of just ambient sort of liquid / action / plasma / something else that we just don't even perceive because there's no evolutionary purpose to perceiving it, right? That's just kind of around and we're floating in. Like water, stuff sinks if it's too heavy. It's got to be like that, right?
I mean, maybe you could draw allusions like dark matter and stuff there.
Yeah, dude, but do you know what's the problem with what I just said?
What?
That's all based on what we understand. We understand how boats float and how planes fly, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be like that because in the 1800s, everyone theorized the big theory of how the universe was infinite was, can you take a guess?
Just keep going.
It was all based in combustion. That we were in some super combustious chemical equation because the combustion engine just came out. And what's the popular theory now? It's all computer simulations.
I'm not sure that's the popular theory.
It's a very popular theory.
But it's
probably not
like,
the scientifically popular theory.
That's important.
But the point is, you know, we see the universe as a reflection of us probably too much. It's so much grander than we can ever imagine, probably. You understand? Remember that bit? When I talked about how in the 1800s combustion and then now computer simulations? When I was still a little stoned the next day, I watched that and I thought of what I had learned about why I was talking when I was tripping. And then I took that knowledge and applied it to that podcast. And then I decided that the reason I talked in that order is because I realized the idea of an ambient gas or liquid being gravity, following the logic train that we can't see it due to there being no evolutionary purpose to perceive it. Parentheses, logic train is an important takeaway and metaphor to be used in later discussion. Finish, close parentheses. In the way that we can't see some colors on flowers that bees can, prior knowledge rules, so I'm using prior knowledge to further illustrate something. That was something I tripped about. Like when I would say something, I wouldn't just say it, I'd go, Gaetano, I am saying this to use my prior knowledge to further illustrate the point that. You don't say that. You just think, like, it's a little synapses that goes through your brains. Yeah. And you never say that. But I was saying that. So that's really interesting. I was, like, seeing how the synapses fire to say stuff.
Should get you to talk about your emotions, see what happens.
I don't think I have any.
Do you think if you had emotions when you were, like, high, instead of just getting angry, you would be like, I think I am angry because, and go on about it.
That'd be cool. But no, I was literally like, I'm saying this as my prior knowledge. And then I thought about this. So I don't know what philosopher, but a philosopher said that if a lion spoke English, we wouldn't understand what it was saying. And that's because its frames of references and prior knowledge would be so bizarre to us, it would be nonsense. And so everything that I was talking about, I was saying shit like, I'm using this as my own pool of prior knowledge to further illustrate something to you. If your prior knowledge is way different than someone else's, it's going to be really hard to illustrate a point. So you could be saying something incredibly intelligent, and 9 out of 10 people think you're nuts. So the point is, that if a line spoke English, you couldn't understand it. It could be saying something really important. Try really hard to understand people. It's going to be hard because frames of references are different across 8 billion people in the world. Universe, probably. But try to. So that was a point.
Yeah, well,
And then, I called it the reservoir of prior knowledge inside you. And you try and illustrate things. And then I also thought the other way you can illustrate things is through creative metaphors, like Bradbury stuff.
Yeah, and that's just another way to pull on prior knowledge, too.
Yeah, like the Bradbury had this, maybe it was Bradbury, maybe it was the other,
I need to get some water.
hold on, maybe it was the other guy. But he had he wrote a story about 3 alien rocket ships that landed on Earth, and they sat there for years unmovable, and everyone was terrified that they attacked, so it waited like 3 generations or something till people were just used to them, then they attacked. And that's obviously a metaphor for cooking the frog slowly in a society, you know?
Yep.
So you can either explain things through the prior knowledge pool or creative metaphors.
I see.
Pretty interesting.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's how information gets moved. I don't know.
Did you already know this?
Yeah.
This is new to me. I also wrote 2 creative metaphors. Like, I literally was so autistic. I'm like, these 2 are creative metaphors, but this one's prior knowledge.
Sure.
So the 2 creative metaphors, and one of them's half prior knowledge, for showing you what I saw when I was tripping.
Yeah.
I saw this, like, red square that would turn like this.
Sure.
And, like, whenever the face got up, I would say that synapsis that's correlated with that face of the square.
It's a cube.
I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
I just thought of like a piece of paper, like a square.
Yeah, it was like this.
Oh.
It was kind of like diagonal, if that makes sense.
Very weird imagery.
Yeah, so like every face was correlated with a synapsis that is then a sentence. And when it would turn, I would say that sentence. That's how fucked I was. Dude, the square decided what I talked.
Actually, I wanna go on.
And then the creative metaphor was clockwork.
Okay.
I just wanted to say clockwork because then I could put cool images of clockwork up. It was like clockwork. I know. Talking and the synapsis is firing is like clockwork. It's really beautiful. All right, what were you gonna say?
So that actually makes me think of something.
Yeah, the square.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Computers. The way they work at a very basic level is they work on like a 3-command cycle, where each command is broken into 3 phases that are constant phases. It's like, I don't remember exactly what it is. I think the first phase goes to a certain location in the code, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But that's what that makes me think of.
Damn.
It's like you're looking at the phases for each thought. Like each thought has like,
holy shit,
like claim, evidence, reasoning, you know.
Whoa! Yeah. Dude, I tripped so hard. We need the charger.
Okay.
That's a good metaphor. That's a prior knowledge metaphor, man. No, but it's actually interesting archetypes. Oh yeah, and then I thought about this. I thought about the building blocks of trying to decipher the universe, right?
Yeah.
Are sort of these laws that you can use to dictate things. Hold on. Like Plato's forms, you know? Or Plato's cave. It's a metaphor that then you can use farther use in discussion with others. And it really totally expands your knowledge and your discussion ability. You can talk about something, but if you understand more, the conversation's more intense, you know? So I think that the creative metaphor and the prior knowledge reservoir are 2 metaphors that are part of this building block, like Tetris type thing, to expand knowledge. And I think it can be a real study. Okay. What I figured out.
Yeah, it's like, well, this is like how epistemology works. You learn logical laws, and then you work those together to build more laws. But when you go outside of like the bounds of simple logic, you also have like half-formed laws that you're also building up, like the peripheries. Yeah.
The periphery, and it's sort of unarticulated knowledge that you can later articulate. So you're in this bubble of like, all right, we got this really structured, and you slowly push it up. Mm-hmm. Woo!
Jung's metaphor with the candle.
What's that?
where his consciousness was represented by him holding a candle to make a small bit of light in darkness.
Mm.
And there was also the second part about the shadow, which was pretty cool, but yeah.
That was the next bit. Tell me about the shadow. I don't know much about the shadow.
Okay, well, I'm just in Jung's metaphor really quick.
Yeah.
In Jung's dream, actually,
Mm-hmm.
his candle, that was his consciousness, reflected on him and cast a shadow behind him onto the darkness,
Okay.
which he said was his shadow. That is to say, the
Archetype.
yeah, the shadow archetype, the one which represents. This is why I say it's a little bit different than repression.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like everything within your potential self that goes against your ego, that your ego dislikes, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a bit different than repression. It's not things that have happened, it's things that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Yeah. That's all. That's the whole dream. It's a very trippy dream, but it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So, what is the shadow? It's your potential for evil?
In a sense, yeah.
Gotcha. It's really interesting. And you can... I think everyone's seen it. I mean, to me, the shadow is that 7-foot guy that goes to the ceiling.
I know what you're talking about.
Is that the shadow?
I don't know.
Maybe it's just maybe a representation. Because a lot of people have seen that guy.
Yeah.
Julie's seen him. That's a very common
Yeah, I'm sure
guy.
it's an archetype, but I'm hesitant to just say it is the shadow.
Yeah.
But it's something that could be the shadow.
Gotcha. Have you seen that guy?
I'm sure I have.
It's literally Enderman. That's what it is.
Well, yeah, Endermen are that, but yeah.
Yes. Clearly, Notch did a lot of acid when he was making Minecraft. I mean,
Clearly
obviously.
Notch invaded everyone's mind 6 years later and inserted the Enderman.
No, but he was obviously doing a lot of acid. One time he was just sleep deprived and he was like falling asleep and coming in and out of consciousness, and he saw Enderman, and then the next day he coded him in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's important. Alright, well...
Now that we've established that, we can move on to the rest of knowledge.
If you want to see more of these videos, please like, share, and donate. My original concept for these videos was for it to be animated with two little trippy looking characters representing me and Ben or G-Man in this ethereal blue plane, which was supposed to represent a general setting that also portrays some amount of otherworldliness to it. And as the conversation changes, so do the characters and so do the setting. So by the end of it, I have 4 arms, Ben's an alien, and we're at the bottom of the ocean, or we're in space, or ancient Rome, or, you know, talking to Abraham Lincoln. And I think this is a really cool fucking concept. And if you want to see it become a reality, please, please donate. It would really help me make this come true. Right now I work like 45, 50 hours a week driving forklift, and I can't focus all of, or really much of my time onto this at all. And we have other projects on hold right now because we have to work. Maybe involving music, maybe involving comedy, who knows. But if you want to see all this shit come out, links to our Patreon are in the description.